with what this is going to look like as the game goes on, but I think the gameplay is really going to have to back that up. And the DN SOOPers, we have seen them find some victories.
Or two in it across the board here.
Kellen actually trying to go for a reset potentially, but not being able to. As Peter finds a Shattering Strike, Kellen looking a little worse for wear, but Taeyoon's going in, looking for the angle. The Ignite was on, but not on Taeyoon, who does decide to go. The Ezreal has been very, very good throughout this particular patch.
The Shovel will eventually stop the back there, ultimately stop the back.
All right, there's the taunt in. Doctorm in a lot of trouble here. He was the one with Flash, but they still managed to kill him. Taeyoon picking up.
They thought, well, at least this is our one chance, our one angle. They got the Shen ultimate, but even that doesn't feel like that big of a win.
Yeah.
Peter, and it's clear specifically in both instances of those equalizers, the
Whoa, flash kick onto Doctorm here, who does have to move away from the turret, even with a flash, though he's right now is what it feels like. And BNK FearX just know exactly what to do. There is that first turret.
They're going to get more than a turret. So now they have full control over the Herald while it's actually spawned and able to be taken. Peter has got his flashback.
There it is. He does get that Magnet Storm in. They're looking for Raptor, who does go down, but Doctorm is going to be traded immediately. So much damage out of this Corki, but Raptor is also going to be dead, and that is going to be the Herald going down in favor of Shovel. So the DN SOOPers do get something back. Magnet Storm. This is a little bit of a dicey one if they do try to go for this one, because they do need to hard force. Here is that Battle Herald we were talking about, but the taunt, it comes forward. The Herald can't do anything about it, and the Dragon is going to go down. That Soul Point over to BNK FearX.
That was
and
such
Shelly does nothing.
Kellen just said there's no follow-up. Kellen read their play like a book. They had vision on all entryways. Push this mid-turret down. They have 3 grubs, and I think he's just going to get it. So sure, you get this one, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 turret.
Went a little bit wide, and so therefore he is going to be able to survive there. Raptor is just going to move back towards the river, but there's that IOU that they do manage to claim. I would agree with you though, but he's still sitting on 0-0-0. Same with Clear, as now Raptor, oh, that kick flash was so sexy out of the man. Gorgeous play here from the jungler. However, Doctorm has survived for a lot longer. Raptor is now going to try and hunt him down to finish the job. Clear is already dead, but that is the bottom lane wiped out in response. Closer now looking for an angle, but the scatter doesn't work. Raptor is at it again, but not going to go in on that resonating strike, as Dudu feeling a little too powerful. And the scatter and just slithers up the river.
DNS can't get anything in this one.
Taeyoon is frontlining. I'm not sure about that one. The Magnet Storm comes out from Peter. Good flash, gets away from the Shock Blast. Peter is going to be taken down. The defense of the President comes in, and Taeyoon walks away. Clear not so lucky, but Raptor gets another gorgeous kick. And down goes Doctorm. The Arcane Storm, not enough to kill the Corki. And this is honestly just a Raptor highlight reel now. As I say that, he misses a Q, but that doesn't matter. I think Dudu is not going to be able to prevent this Dragon from going down.
And he was isolated and killed. The carries couldn't close the gap. It's been quietly, I know the least.
That health bar is extraordinarily low. BNK FearX now moving towards this top side. 6,000 gold in the lead. As Taeyoon going to get flashed on, but just sidesteps. Now Valkyrie's forward. Clear comes down. Doctorm's almost dead. See, they just don't have enough damage to kill Taeyoon fast enough. He already does so much work. Closer comes in, unleashes the power, but unfortunately the power station is just not really given very much back right now. Raptor comes in, claims a double, and now Dudu back at full health, but he's ran out of teammates.
Here, dies, but it doesn't matter because they have Cassiopeia, they have Fedley Sin, and Dudu, 1 Shock Blast and a Dream.
Well, he's not even really going to be able to do it, as he doesn't get kicked into the Baron Pit in order to die to everyone, but he gets kicked far enough to definitely die. No flash on the Jace, no chance to escape, and that is going to be Baron. Peter is looking a bit worse for wear, though, as we can see, and that is all they're really going to get. However, Clear comes down. That's a brand new hat on this Rumble and just halves their health bars. Magnet Storm doesn't do a lot. The kick is gorgeous as he locks down the Syndra. It's a double already here for Taeyoon, who's looking fantastic on the Corki, and Raptor is just hunting them all down. Finds his opposite number and will be able to get Shovel out of there. They at least killed Taeyoon again. That's something.
That was the last
still the end of the game.
The BNK sussed it out, they back away. Not that I think a flanking Jace this far behind was going to do too much, but they didn't even give him a chance to do that. And they're going to close this one out. An incredibly one-sided game here. on day 2 here of week 10. BNK coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and this is a DNS that just managed to take down Bro in the Kesper Cup, and a BNK FearX that were already eliminated.
Everybody's doing it now. And so you ban the Varus and the Vayne, and then pick Gnar, which is the more conditional part of the engagement.
This wave is so massive that Clear is pushing forward, and he picks up the turret aggro, and down goes Shovel. It's gorgeously played here by BNK. Although I guess a Kai'Sa is not exactly going to be hard winning in the early levels either. Raptor now going to get Hex flashed on here by Peter, and the flash forward from Closer. They might be able to lock down this kill. The Aegis did come on through as now Shovel is going to be able to get over that wall and make sure that this Pantheon is going down.
So Closer, so they get one lane with an advantage out of this. So definitely a big bounce back, but the woes will continue elsewhere.
Yeah, Docton taking a lot of damage here. Peter is able to offer a really nice re-engage. Remember, Kellen doesn't have the ulti just yet, so that damage is going to stick a little bit more than it otherwise would. Good exhaust here onto Dudu to keep Clear alive, who's rocket jumping in, trying to utilize that summoner spell. As he has stacked up that lethal tempo, was starting to do a bunch of work, but now Dudu, oh, he gets buster shotted back and isn't going to be able to finish off that kill. The flash comes through as the traded ultimate comes on down, but now the Realm Warp is going to bring a Doggo and a Rise towards his top lane, and it's a solo kill for Dudu.
Buster shot pushes Dudu away, but isn't enough to kill, and now Clear is just up a creek without a paddle here and just ultimately will get taken out. They do, of course, commit the Realm Warp for this, but it's well worth it.
Well, we've got another Pulverize coming on in, as Kellen is likely to just die. There is the cow going down, but the bounce on in from Clear, Goomba stomping everyone, gets the first reset, and the Pantheon is on a double kill now. Taeun is just racing forward, grabs his kill, and that is 3 on the floor already. BNK FearX, I mean, it was a little bit of a rough time, but that time is now over, and Doctom is also going to be taken out.
Classic.
I feel like weird stuff happens in that series of games.
It's weirdly cool, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. I respect it for what it is. Okay, there's an ulti coming on through from Shovel. Vikla tried to catch it, but it does not quite work out there. So the Talia will be taken out. Kellen now in a little bit of trouble, but the resets are coming on in for this Doggo. Raptor not going to be deterred from his Brambleback. Does manage to take that one down, but the first Drake.
Bit of a Hail Mary, but like the last one Peter set up, you know, it works out.
Okay. You don't need to wait anymore.
No,
it's fine. It's over. As the Boomerang Blade actually did a whole bunch of work here towards
everywhere.
DN.
Where are we going? Where are we dropping?
Well, I think you just get a whole patch kit, and you just go to the closest place and start patching. And Close is going to flash into the wall, and honestly, it feels like DNS as a team.
Okay. Speaking of Bang, his name was Moham, and he had bangs over his eyes.
Who did he just join in the LPL? I'm trying to remember. All right, he has recently moved over. It's okay. Here's a little bit of an option. Pulverize onto 2. Down goes Peter, but these health bars are getting lower. Doctom, will he find a killer instinct angle? That's the question. The explosive charge not going to quite kill, but gets pretty dang close. As Taeun just not even interested in that fight, is just going to be hanging out in this mid lane. Vikla taking a lot of damage. There is the Gnar, but the flash gets him out of the way. Flash out of the way at the seismic shove as well, as we are running out of those flash buttons. And Shovel going to have to... He did. Hopefully on Weibo he's going to get a haircut and things are going to work out. Thanks Orcs for the update. Couldn't quite remember which team he joined. But there it is. He's on Weibo Gaming now. It's okay. BNK FearX, they are going to have their hair out of their eyes. They are just very, very happily looking at a Summoner's Rift that belongs to them at this point in time. Vikla is in fact building walls and missing seismic shoves, so maybe he does need to just move the hair out of it.
Just take a good look at it.
Pretend you're joining the military or something like that, you know? All right, Vikla could be in a little bit of trouble here. Throws Closer around. Depth charge comes in. Decent combo there from Peter, and Talia is going to fall down. Vikla didn't have a lot of options in that moment.
They're else in that Realm Warp.
I mean, he killed Vikla like a little bit ago.
Yeah.
There you go. There's something.
They also did delay the kill on this turret.
It's going to give them so much control of the map as well. I don't think it's going to be realistic for the DN SOOPers to get over towards contesting this Hextech Dragon.
They're kind of like, you cleared out my stock. I don't really have anything left for you.
Yeah. Well, Pulverize is going to catch Shovel on the front flip. He's going to have to flash. The exhaust comes down as well. Shelly gets a double charge. And yeah, Peter's going to get flung back towards the waiting boomerangs. of Taeun. Takes a whole bunch of damage there. Dudu is at least spending some spare time in this top lane, taking out the first turret of the game for the DN SOOPers. That might be able to get them a little bit of unexpected.
Is because my expectation...
It is! Look at you!
Kai'Sa gets triple kill. Maybe we get a soul, and maybe then we could see DNS win this game as
Killer Instinct. Dr. needs to avoid a seismic shove, but instead he just flashes towards Vikla, does avoid the seismic shove, and now Vikla's going to try and wall his way out, and you know what? He'll be successful! Oh man, they cannot catch a break. Clear is going to kill the doggo here in the tribe.
Level 1 for him when he came over to Charvel's.
Yeah, when he removed the dog from the game, I think is what kind of happened there. Charvel is going to be able to remove himself from this position. That was definitely good. As Raptor trying to get the stun onto Dudu, but he hops beforehand. So we'll be able to keep himself alive. Still, turret does go down, and this is what Tristana loves to do. She's drawing beat.
Where they'll have any relevant team fights, but it's looking a little tough right now. It's only the second dragon here for BNK. Like we said, you know, Mario at least have a chance to get back into it. There is a chance if mistakes are made. Speaking of mistakes made.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, Dudu is going to be pushed away here. Taeun, with his newly built Infinity Edge you just mentioned, is able to do so much damage here. Raptor unable to find the Q, and the flash out from Charvel will get him out of there somewhat, but Clear didn't get the hasn't charged the explosive charge, but there's the kill. And no real escape here from the Tristana. And it should be.
And carried the last team fight and made a comeback happen on Rise. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen for Closer here, but he's going to have to try. Dudu TP top, but they have no vision. Kellen's wrapping around.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. He does manage to jump forward, pick up the kill under Dudu. Oh, yeah, no, I think he's theoreticalizing. It's not an actualize this time around,
every problem. It's a late game Sivir, late game Tristana. With Baron and 3 grubs, these turrets are just not going to last.
I also think that Clear went back and bought Navori, like, just straight up after the Lord Dom, so he is very, very scary on this Tristana. Dudu does get headbutt pulverized. Now Charvel looking for a bit of a flank angle, but is spotted on the control ward. BNK all grouped up, just trying to work out which part of this fork to pick off, and it's going to be Charvel that draws that short straw. And the rest of them now move over. It's another kill onto the jungler. It's another opportunity to go for even more in this game. There's still a minute and a half on the Drake. Probably turrets is what they're going to be looking for, but now Kellen turns it into a 3-man pulverize, and Raptor wraps around, finds the option. It's a double for Taeun. Vikla flashes forward. Dudu finds himself in the death chamber yet again, and headbutt pulve is going to connect onto Closer in the back line. It's a wipe, and BNK FearX will be picking up their first 2-0 here of the LCK for this round.
Round 3 starting off on great footing here for BNK FearX as they take this Nexus out here just about 15 seconds shy of 28 minutes in an extremely dominant game. And I think a lot of this came down to pick the Cassiopeia ultimately here into that bottom lane, which actually is very good into Ezreal if you consider how that all works out. And they have a lot of damage through, but this is not commitment here from Zeka. It's an incredible dive angle onto this Olaf. It does have flash. Let's see how much it gets him.
Yeah, there are 4 people in this lane, Wolf. They're going to make sure that the Olaf is dead.
But this is the position that it's almost like he thrives in it and pops off later on.
Ooh. Okay, Korea just some supportal combat, but that is not going to be real. Shockwave is going to connect as Korea looks for an angle. Delight is just dead though. Lucid grabs the...
does kind of change that equation a little bit.
Smash, ladies and gentlemen, is in some trouble. There's the flash over the W, which was kind of crazy there. Smash trying to fight it out against Gumayusi. Can he actually get it? One more auto, and he picks it up, the 1-for-1. Korea comes in, though. He had to expend the ultimate, but he's able to shadow dash his way back to the turret. Oh my goodness, Smash, that was pretty cool.
Smash on Ezreal, ladies and gentlemen, as Kanavi's going to find out Lucid's in this bush, and I don't know how much he's going to like it.
Yeah, Career is almost dead to minions, actually, as he's following past. There is the Crescent Guard. Career is still going in. However, as Lucid picks up that kill on his opposite number, the flash out from Career will keep him alive for now, as Delight's moving in. Lucid is going to be moving out. And in the meantime, yeah, Showmaker is just making crockery money.
This is a huge win here for Dplus in the extended exchange. Oh, maybe not necessarily anymore.
Good ward is going to be there as Lucid stays alive for a very long time. Becca a little bit scared of it, but
and so Dplus will get this dragon here at 14 minutes, very late.
But they're not going to be able to stop this Herald from going down. Ensuing fight not going to happen either, but Herald for mid out of turret. Losing fight, moving up to a 1.4k gold advantage. As now Delight goes in, they're looking for Showmaker. They'll find him as, yeah, Shockwave comes in, but he's already dead as it goes off. And that is the first kill for Zeus, and a pretty scary time here if anyone wants to face this Ambessa.
Now Kanavi's on the other side of the map.
All right, now looking for that angle, goes between the worlds as Ragnarok has to be used, and he walks it off.
It's not there, so he could be that far up. He didn't know Delight was there. He found out Kanavi was on the other side of the map when
later on is going to be important, as Delight might be in a little bit of trouble here. Does get knocked up by the 3-talon strike. And Korea is going to look for this one. Nice taunt is going to connect, so Delight's definitely dead. Zeka not going to be able to offer too much back there as he gets a bit of damage down, but will not save the Camille.
The Herald hasn't been used yet. You know, they haven't been able to get enough footing in the middle of the map to actually take that turret out, and this is going to be another turret going down here for HLE in the bottom lane. As all that pressure is applied, Showmaker gets this one. Now they're dropping it mid.
Going to be able to take down this outer turret, but does still have teleport at the ready. Let's see whether Kanavi can get this steal. He's not able to. Does get into the pit. Does get himself away. Still, HLE, yeah, and an Ambessa drop. Like, this is an incredible Chemtech Soul game for both teams. We do have Olaf kept in the pen, but gets a big old shield. There's cease and desist from Kanavi. Can he get himself out of this turret range? That's the question. The answer is yes. Has to use the flash to do so. Has HLE
TP here to get the punish on Zeus, so it looks like ultimately they will get at least something out of this.
Yeah, it looks like Hidemaker is turning into Showmaker here in this game, Wolf, as he has teleported in. Zeus is, yeah, surrounded completely. 3-talon strike comes in. He's doing some funny business, but that is going to be Baron blocking down the kill. The answering Baron will ensue, and let's see whether this one's going to be fast enough, because it's 20 minutes and 30 seconds. Has teleport. Let's see whether he can do it. I mean, this Baron is going down quite slowly, and it is a 4 versus 5 in theory. They make their way over. Delight is just dead. This Baron was optimistic at best, and Lucid will deliver an orb to the enemy jungler, and they'll say thanks for the leash. Dplus are now so far ahead.
That turret feels like it is light years away. Smash gonna take out this inner here, and Deeplin. But when Dplus aren't playing as a full unit, it's hard to see that sometimes. Now they're going to try to punish him.
Yeah, they're going to challenge. They're going to make sure that they are playing like that unit. As Showmaker gets close in on the 2-man Shockwave is too good out of Showmaker. And that is going to be the ultimatum thrown down. Dplus say what? I don't really care. We'll take your ultimatum. Zeus doesn't find the public execution, but it is Gumayushi taking down this Shen. And these health bars are getting lower and lower. So it is a one fight in theory from Dplus.
For this upcoming fight as well.
Oh god, True Shot Barrage sails over Goomer and Delight here as the Crescent Guard used very early because there's a Viking being delivered to the backline. Goomer's immediately punished. The bot lane goes down and we are flashing in. This Ragnarok is lasting forever as Zeka has to get over the base gate in order to escape. And with those two dead, this is a guaranteed soul point for Dplus KIA. They are going strength to strength, man. There's another kill. Kanavi goes down. What is happening?
I mean, they're getting this inner turret down here. The cool thing about this fight is Lusa looks for the wind becomes lightning. He doesn't find it.
Definitely do not want to see that over on Dplus with how Shiu is going to be playing after that one comes in. Mega Blastcone is going to deliver Career to a weird spot, but Lucid is in position, and Zeka taking a lot of damage here. True Shot Barrage comes down. Public execution to try and escape as Showmaker goes golden to avoid all of the damage and follow-up, and Kanavi's dead once again.
I think the story of this game will not be about this Baron, will not be about Smash popping off. Most people remember this game as the Hanwha Baron throw.
Yeah.
This one for D+, absolutely safe, as we will see a last-minute contest. They're just going to drop off it and look for the turn.
Looking for the turn. Zeus is going to get exhausted as soon as he shows up. Shiu takes down Delight before the fight has really started. Petrifying Gaze is scary onto Lucid there, slows him up for a moment. And Zeka has finally joined the fight, tries to dash cannon forward, doesn't find the full combo on a Showmaker though, unfortunately, and takes so much damage back in response.
They've got no ults. HLE have no tools to walk through, control vision, and contest this Baron. They're going to have to try.
Kanavi just respawned. As, yeah, I mean, Korea will watch the top laner walk in, but who cares? The Baron is guaranteed. And
this close game was an incredibly one-sided one.
And now there's 2 minutes on a Chemtech Soul, which would be probably guaranteed end of the game, but that stage might already be there.
Back up, and this composition layers its CC so incredibly well.
Yeah, and you don't have to force it. There's the petrifying gaze, though. Shockwave is decent as a response, but they've killed Smash. Down will go to Light, but that is not a fair trade, as now Lucid trying to fight Kanavi. He'll find it. With the wind becomes lightning, and that's going to bring it back towards Dplus KIA. Oh, man, they get their prize, though, so there's that.
You can see what I was talking about in that attempt from Hanwha, but ultimately I think it's just too much of a deficit, too much of a hole they are in. Nice attempt here to try to bring this back. There's another one here from Zeka. See if they can push Dplus out of the base.
Yeah, Zeus is still alive. I have to say that I'm still a little bit frightened. However, they're going to look for the turn. Kamishi gets surrounded and the snake will fall. Now Zeus is going to be their next target. Lucid gets the flash, finds the 3-talent strike, and it's a double for Showmaker. Lucid still going back in. They'll find basically an ace because Delight is level 11. He respawns way too early. These Nexus turrets are going to go down. And Dplus KIA will draw first blood in this Legend Group series. Just play Darius. I think Darius would have been the right call, but it will be the Renekton. And so a very beefy draft out of Dplus KIA. It's finding the better end of that trade.
We're getting to the point where Skarners do so much damage. Okay, Showmaker, this is a bridge too far.
Yeah, he flashes, but Zeka can just follow him. And now he got a Bone Skewer coming in. It pulls Delight out of the way, but Showmaker will be taken down. The auto is on fire.
But can, in these more extended fights, actually be quite strong into a Jhin.
Yeah, Shu with the Dominus now running. World Ender there for Zeus as well. Just going to escape the Crocodile. There's both R buttons, just on cooldown. All right, no Chemtech Soul this game. That is going to be the first dragon here that HLE look to be taking right now. There's a Bone Skewer onto Delight, though, as he flashes to get the stun. Gravity Field to make sure that that one is lined up, and I don't think that Safeguard is going to be enough. The flash into the Magical Journey, into the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike onto a Gromp. Will get Kanavi out of there, but that is still a flash down and a kill over to Dplus. Still, they are up and available now. HLE looking for Smash towards this bottom side.
A wave, though.
Yeah, let's see whether the curtain call is going to actually work out here. That's a great flash as he gets kicked over the wall, and down he will go. The turret, it does destroy Delight. Look at the health bar advantage. It is absurd.
They can't hurt him that much.
No. Well, Deadly Flourish does come down, and honestly, they're hurting him a fair bit. Showmaker is going to turn up, though, and down goes Kanavi. Yes, you were right, Wolf. It's going to be difficult to kill this guy, as it's not difficult to kill Korea. He has to get himself into the back of the pit. Tib is running amok as well. There's another Deadly Flourish. The bear does go down, though, as Lucid's getting sniped. Showmaker is looking to tank it up in front of him. He gets himself out of the way. That is Zeka getting in there. They take them both down. Lucid has to get out with the flash, and that may not even save him. It's a double for Zeka and a disaster for Dplus KIA.
What's with the holds on objective? Doesn't get out of the pit, which is not great.
Yeah, it was all a little bit of a disaster there for Dplus KIA. Now it's going to continue as Smash not going to be able to contend with a 4.
These fights has been so instrumental, but Guma on the accuracy, getting that flourish as well there onto Lucid in the final moments. He is also where he needs to be right now, chasing Career out of his own jungle. There's another one.
Binding lands, and that's going to be a dead Pike.
This comp from ahead. Is it time?
Time for?
Pressing R for these two guys.
Oh, yeah, probably.
They both have their ultimates, so. Yeah.
There we go, pressing R. There you go, well, thank you very much. Zeus, realizing that he hadn't quite pressed his yet, he presses it. He's now walking the wrong direction, though. Bone Skewer will connect on to Zeus as the Ignite goes down. He's still stunned. The slice over the wall. He does get back. That was very cute, but it's not quite enough as Zeus is taken out.
Career got him on the technicality, a bit of a late presser.
Yeah. Kanavi not winning out on this trade just yet, but Delight comes on over to try and help him out. And that will get the Scorpion out of there.
I know we don't talk about Heartsteel stacks a lot. Oh, well, we're not going to talk about it right now either. Showmaker's going to need to leave.
Well, that is a Tempered Fate. Little mini stun kick into the wall there onto Showmaker, and he is surrounded right now. Tries to get back towards the turret. It does not work, and the Safeguard does get Kanavi out of there. So a really good dive going to be picked up here by HLE, but it's in trade versus Turret Blood is going to even out the gold almost completely.
This game is so wild. I think, okay.
Yeah, flashes because the turret got mad. And there's a bullet. Good sidestep from Smash. He tried to get through, and it didn't work. Gumayushi is going to be able to lock down the kill.
Uma's popping off again. On Jhin, it's one of his best picks. He's got a lot of really top-tier picks, obviously, but this one is one he's most known for next to Caitlyn over the last few years, as Xiu may also be a victim.
Yeah, Zeker was tanking up the turret here, but does make it out with the flash. Xiu not going to survive is Lucid. Not sure about that one, but the Pyke is able to lock down the kill under the Lee Sin. Magical Journey, I believe, was taken there by KIA. He does find his way to Narnia, but isn't able to catch up.
As Lucid here doesn't have his Impale for this fight, so contesting this Soul point for Hextech Soul is going to be a large challenge.
Yep, I think they're going to have to go for it, though, as there's a bear dropped on the Scorpion. Lucid may survive, but he's not looking too hot. Great stun is going to connect there onto Kanavi as they do turn it onto Smash, and down he will go. Zeus now fighting against Xiu here as it's a decent bone skewer, but killing the Aatrox is not saving that Soul point, and I don't know whether they can even kill the Aatrox. So Xiu, he has to try and get out of there. The Dominus comes on forward, another bone skewer, but it does not matter. It's Kanavi grabbing another one, and HLE are really running away with it now.
They really are. And that fight looked kind of peculiar because we had Showmaker, right? Because he could flash and impale him, but they know he doesn't have it. So they just walk straight up to him and push him away. Showmaker on the other side here with the Renekton. Cannot get the Dragon as Kanavi's by himself.
He is. He's dead. Okay. Smash is going to pick up that kill.
That's normal.
Very good.
That's normal.
Dplus.
That's very normal.
I think this was
actually to be, 2,000 gold ahead, but your Kanavi just sends a Rift Herald into the enemy jungle. And
he wanted to kill the outer turret top lane with Shelly, but found bad guys. Okay, speaking of bad guys, Xiu is completely surrounded, does slice and dice, but the stun comes in, and boom goes the Renekton. My god, Zeker does so much damage on this Annie. I'm just not used to seeing an Annie combo tear apart a Renekton like that, because he is 5-1-5 right now.
Yeah, he also does not really have any of the magical types of resistances, so
no.
He is the biggest lead for Dplus, though, turned into a handbag in that moment, as Dplus will get a big push here on the Smash flashback available, like you mentioned.
Yep.
There are some ways here.
Oh, but they may not have their Scorpion. Never mind, he's incredibly tanky. It's kind of absurd. There's the kick, though, into the Tempered Fate, and they line them up. Gumayushi's now set up to get the damage in, and Showmaker is just dead. The answering kill is going to be there, though, as the damage from Smash is pretty massive. KIA tanking up so many of these bullets and goes down to the Aatrox. They catch Xiu mid-slice as well, which was gorgeous. And a 2-for-1 is going to ensue. That should guarantee this soul.
I don't know what Dplus are going to do here. Renekton has TP to come back in at full health. Some poke coming through from Smash here, but it's on to Delight. I think they're just otherwise largely going to ignore them and take this Dragon.
Well, Realm Warp is up. I just don't know whether Showmaker is going to be up in time.
No way. They get this Dragon for sure. Dplus can't get anywhere near it. Guma and Delight are holding the line.
Yeah, control wards are going down, and Dplus, they realize they are not taking this one away. So Hanwha Life Esports, 4 Drakes in a row, 6 minutes until perfectly. As KIA, not sure about that one, as he is going to be able to bone skewer Zeker, gets him back over that wall, but it's looking somewhat dangerous. Did at least have a blue man down there to try and help him out.
Showmaker's got to be about halfway to that third item. And I don't know, surviving a Baron push is realistic. I mean, they have a Rise, they have a Victor, but okay, Kanavi, be careful.
Yeah, Lucid. We're going to try and take this fight because Smash was moving up. Xiu was waiting over the side.
I do think
Hextech Soul, very scary prospect, and the idea of fighting around a Baron will be a tough one. Tempered Fate is going to lock down the jungler. Dplus, can they get into position? That is the question. So much damage going down onto Lucid, trying to escape. They try and turn it. The Impale is gigantic, and he even flashes away. They take out the Pyke. Xiu's so close to dead. And now it's Zeus' turn to kind of go ballistic. He's looking to get on top of Smash, but misses a bunch of buttons. Now Showmaker flashes away from Delight, who tries to flash in. Everyone.
How little agency Showmaker and Smash have had.
Okay, hold on. That's another Impale onto Kanavi. Tempered Fate goes down. He does just have the W to get himself out of there. Now Zeus is looking to make his way in. Nice little knock-up as the curtains are being called, pulled back by the Infernal Chains, and down goes the Skarner. That should mean Baron. Kanavi's already on it, and Zeus is already underneath the enemy inhibitor turret. I'm not sure whether he really wants to, as he's going to have to umbrally dash through that base gate. Does do that as Xiu looking to make his way in. The Arcane Storm not going to follow them that far. And still, I mean, 30 seconds to wait on Lucid.
Lucid, no
flash. Oh, no. Wolf, is this just are we just burger flipping? Oh, no, we're not. Showmaker going to have to walk the wrong direction to avoid the Tempered Fate. He is lasting a long time, but he gets kicked back to the open arms of Zeka. Another great Impale is going to come down, but it's only on to Kanavi. Xiu trying to keep them at bay, but the Pyke just cannot even stand in this game anymore. And the curtains have been called by Gumayusi. Lucid able to avoid a couple of them, and he's very tanky. So he's not going to be dying at this point, but with 2 dead, I think this should be a free Elder.
Dplus can come back from this.
Absolutely not. It's impossible. 0 chance.
Xiu is just going to be free food as well.
Yep, they're going to test out their brand new dragon here, as it does just consume the crocodile.
On the other side of the map, Wave pushed up to the midway point. That's as far as Xiu can send. His career is just trying to buy further time. They're really just doing this to buy Elder time, as he has Edge of Night.
Yeah, so he's able to avoid the Tempered Fate.
This is just time buy, right? The Elder is ticking down a little bit here. Yep. Look at Showmaker's wave. He pushed out bottom lane. They pushed out the top wave with Smash. Like Dplus are just prepping for the defense,
right? Could be some bounty gold over to DK as well, which is kind of crazy. Smash does have decent wave clear, but against Baron, it's going to be a tough one. Okay, that's a cute little dash over the wall there from Zeus to deny the Bone Skewer. And there is that bounty gold we were talking about. Spending bounty gold when your Nexus is about to explode, it's not exactly the greatest of things, but look at these turrets, man. They are melting to the hands of HLE, who have every neutral everything except for the Grubs at this point in the game.
Xiu on the flank, just one more Hail Mary is all Dplus have got.
They've still got 45 seconds on Elder, though. They cannot be starting a fight right now. It's just too dangerous. These minions are just so scary. Yeah, Xiu just wanted to catch that wave. Will be able to do so, as Delight getting sliced on here. The rest of HLE are going to move up. Korea looking to see who he can catch out of position. The flash away from the Crocodile, as he will be able to at least hold on to that wave. Korea almost burns down to the Elder, but these Nexus turrets, they are just dying. I'm not sure about that Tempered Fate, but it doesn't even seem to really matter. As Xiu getting into the backline, they realize they have to pull the trigger. Kanavi fighting 3 of them, and finally HLE will get back to business. Gumayusi just needs to hit the Nexus a couple of times, and they will be bringing us to that 3rd game in this Legend Group series. An incredible one so far. The Flash Impale does nothing. The Scorpion burns down. Both junglers taking a little bit of a break here, but I think the Nexus is going to take a break as well, and HLE will bring us to a deciding game in this series. He's decided it's not, as the Galio does come in. This will be able to help Kanavi stay alive in some of these fights, and also with the Narb bouncing in, you can get in on top of it. The EWC title holders or the MSI champions to win this one. As Zeka's gonna face check! Oh God! He gets a big old taunt, and he does flash away, but Career is flashing after him. The only one to do so, Glitterland slows him down. Another couple of autos, picks, help him out. As Lucid gonna need to drop a flag. They are hard committing for this. The flash forward, the heal. Zeka's still alive as finally he goes down.
Moment there. I thought we were maybe about to witness the beginning of a Xiu collapse, but he does recover well. Now Smash gets the kill, buys a call.
Oh dear. Korea very dead.
Yeah.
So HLE gonna deny so much experience from the bottom. Is actually even more horrible.
Exactly. He spent so much time.
Yeah, exactly right. Is now Smash trying to fight against Gumayusi, but I don't think he really wants to. He's already gonna have to go back home once again. Fire kick is going to connect here. Slurkle goes wide. Career taken out, and Gumayusi on 2-0.
Good time. And it's crazy how volatile that level 1 went, right? This is the kind of thing it's hard to scrim for. This is the kind of situation it's hard to identify what the correct play is. Next wave. But he needs that flash if Lucid's going to come over and bail him out, right? But now he doesn't have it. Lucid wasn't there in time.
So much more in the tank after that initial round of spells. Is now without flash, Zeus might be susceptible. As the counter-strike comes down, holds the leap strike nicely to Xiu, so he stays in range. Still, Zeus going to push them away. He didn't have ulti.
Yeah.
They still just back off.
I mean, Career could have looked for the wild growth there. They just didn't have information in the river, so they were like, I don't like the way this looks. I know Kanavi's very likely nearby. He was, but I think that was a small window where they could have tried the wild growth. They just didn't have the information, so Zeus walks away scot-free, and now it's HLE the aggressors.
Yeah. Gumayushi's also walking up. Supreme Display of Talent is completely avoided, but there's a the heroic entrance. Wild growth onto Lucid to make him a bit tankier. Big old taunt comes down as even Zeka getting involved. Zeus gets put into the Cataclysm, tanks up the turret. Lucid almost manages to make it work. They go 1 for 1 on the junglers, and it's way closer than I expected in that moment.
Unfortunately, they don't have enough damage there.
Smash will be able to crash another wave towards this bottom side. Has cashed in the cull as well. It's helped try and claw back that gold advantage. It's a Hextech all this game as well, which is kind of ridiculous.
Again, it feels like it's Hextech all the time these days. Smash getting a lot of money here, and Zeka is also being denied gold, so that's still good for Dplus. And the fact that the Jax got the kill topside means that all it takes is just one moment where the map gets opened up. Either it's a race.
Grumpy Timo, as it is going to be Zeus that locks down that first turret. It's immediately answered here on this bottom side. I think HLE are the team under pressure, though, to make something happen, because all of this...
As fast as he can, and is able to buffer that stun. The turret trade isn't first brick for HLE, because they already got that one on the bottom side, but they get a second one. But the fact that Dplus are trading turrets, again, at this game state, with the Lucian, Guma being this far ahead, is pretty crazy. As Guma's... I don't want to say he's going to struggle to get a bigger lead here, but it's not going to be as easy now as it was in the bottom lane. And they turned this lane swap, even though it was a big sacrifice for Xiu, into kind of a big success.
Well, Scatter is going to connect onto the Melio. Force of will, the ulti, and Showmaker just pops to light like a balloon. Kanavi trying to take down this Rift Herald. He will be successful. And let's see whether he can get it out. The answer is no. Down goes the Kiana. Now Flash is flashing in. I'm not sure about it, but the rest of his teammates are there to back him up. And down goes Zeus. The Yanara is now officially online.
The eye is on the ground. Zeka's not in this game in terms of gold relevance, but is still so much utility for this comp that's still very online right now, as Lucid's going to find out.
Yeah, there is the scat of the week. Lucid still has to get out of there, though, because the heroic entrance is so scary. Smash also gets a big old shield, but the culling is going to come down. And just typewriter DK. Cataclysm comes in. Guma able to escape at the Arc of Ruin. So much damage onto Kanavi. Xiu and Zeus are just fighting off to the side in their own sort of little battle here. And everyone else, I mean, there's a lot of damage that's been taken, but Honey Fruit advantage is here for HLE.
They're on the dragon. They have full prio control. They do not...
Oh, teleport in.
Have a Gnar, and there's that TP from Showmaker. If he shows up, those health bars are pretty low. Kanavi is on a timer here.
Yeah, look at these health bars from HLE. They're going down so low, but Zeka makes his way in. Kanavi just explodes. Showmaker takes him out. The Drake is over there, and now Lucid trying to escape. Gumayushi is protected, and he gets the double kill. Now Showmaker is going to get taunted, and Guma dashes forward. We'll get some revenge. Scat of the week is fantastic, but the Justice Punch will come down. And Showmaker's on the floor. HLE, great team fight, and they get themselves the Drake.
And it's a big pendulum swing back into their favor after what was, I think, a great showcasing of the importance of priority on objectives. Even though Showmaker gets the wraparound, even though the poke was there and the health bars were low for Hanwha Life Esports, and Lucid can't get access to the punish there on Zeus, can't get access to the solution. And it's like Hanwha have Baron.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Cataclysm comes in, though. Kanavi, supreme display of talent, comes down. He flashes. He takes out Showmaker. But Showmaker does get the orb on the ground. Lucid, oh, bit of a misplay there. Does claim the wild growth and stays alive just barely. Felt like a little bit of an unforced error that didn't go punished that time.
A trade of kills like this, I feel like, is pretty good for Dplus, all things considered, especially because the Jax, they got a 100-0 Guma somehow, and they just don't have access.
Well, I think Lucid's going to be the first 100-0, as Slurkle does connect onto Gumayushi. He takes a fair bit of damage, but that is no jungler. And therefore, no problem for HLE as Zeka looking to try and follow up. The rest of HLE, oh man, they are moving towards the Baron. And they might just be able to take this.
Okay, HLE on the Baron. No answer, no jungler. They're going to take the dragon in return, which will be a 2-2 dragon status here. And also Xiu is going to get this whole turret, it looks like.
Yeah, so Zeus is going to try and chase him down. Grandmaster's Might comes in. Drake now secured for Dplus.
Ooh, they almost baited Zeus in. Well, I guess I can't say that for sure, but they were trying to bait Zeus in. Zeus does not go any further there. Trying to get the kill onto the Jax. Would have probably lost his life for it, which would have been big win for Dplus. Dplus keep getting these unseemingly possible wins despite everything, but it's still just not enough, as maybe they'll get this unforeseen win onto Zeka as well with this TP flank from Xiu. It's going to take a while.
Justice Punch is going to be interrupted, but Zeka just gets out of there. And he's got Imperial Mandate now. He basically doesn't have cooldowns.
Cataclysm, just be happy with the inner, I think is what HLE are thinking. Yep, and they will just take this one down. The longer we go into this game.
But he doesn't even have a lead anymore. Zeka has just been so much freer in these side lanes. Taunt is going to be fantastic here from Zeka, as Gumayusi will execute Lucid. Absolutely nothing he can do. Xiu throws down the counter-strike. Slurkle is decent to try and stop Gumayusi from just murdering everyone, but that is only going to delay the inevitable.
Guma's going to solo the Baron because he's so large in this game that he doesn't need anyone's help. Kanavi comes over to help secure. He's now flashless, which could be, again, a potential way.
A potentially dangerous... Wait, Xiu, what are we doing, buddy? He's going to have to leap strike his way out. He does manage to do that. The tiniest little supreme display of talent comes in. Xiu goes golden momentarily, but he's just dead. Zeka might be traded, but I don't know whether it's worth. Smash at least picks up that kill. 4 versus 4. No Jax, no Galio. And Zeus with no Nabar as well. And Smash will soon not have an ultimate. They're just waiting for that one to be gone. As Gumayusi gets Cataclysm and he's knocked up, but it's not going to work. Kanavi taken out, Smash. Wait, he goes down and Smash is taking matters into his own hands. They've killed the carry. Zeus, the last man standing with just a light. That is not going to work. I think DK have done it.
I think the Flag and Drag interrupted Guma's dash. It's like he was dashing forward midair. He just barely got caught on the edge of it, and Smash comes in, follows up with the burst. Guma's dead. And this Baron is up for grabs here. They are rushing through the Hex Gates to come over, but I think they are just going to have to watch as this one fades away. Dplus are still 4,000 gold behind, but this could change everything. No jungle here for the contest. Zeus level 19.
They're going to try and turn. They're looking for it. As there is no smite in this pit. Zeus does manage to hit the Mega, but there is the kill from Showmaker. He moves himself out. Look at these health bars, they're so low. And there's a heroic entrance. Down goes Korea. She is once again in a really awkward spot. And Lucid looking to make his way into the Baron pit. He is going to get in. That will be Baron secured. Can he get out? That's the question. I don't know whether he can, but I don't know whether it matters. He can. Never you mind. Dplus now find themselves almost in an advantage.
Guma's respawn. I don't know if they could push this wave in to try to at least make sure this mid wave is so far away.
Oh my god, Xiu, stop it! He is just playing right on the edge here in this incredibly pivotal deciding game between DK and HLE. He's now diving in towards Zeka. The inhibitor turret in the bottom lane almost died, by the way, as Gumayusi, he's got so much burst damage every time Smash moves forward like that.
Splash is
so
back.
Scary. Culling, not really doing too much here, as the taunt is set up by Zeka, but the scatter hits onto 2 Kanavi, taking a lot of damage. Supreme display of talent comes down. Lucid finds the Cataclysm, but he dies. There is Zeka going down so incredibly low, and it's Smash that gets into the front line and looks to obliterate Gumayusi too far away from the battlefield, and it's Smash that dashes in, picks up the triple, and you best believe that third one felt the best.
Dplus cut HLE in half. Guma couldn't rejoin the fight. The haphazard plays from Xiu finally pay off. Look at Lucid's face.
Yeah, Showmaker's popping off as well, man.
They are riding the momentum from Paris, and this squad says maybe the second international title was greater than the first, and they'll take HLE out in the first matchup of the Legend Group between these two. Unbelievable turnaround from Dplus KIA.
This game was the most ridiculous demonstration of mental fortitude.